What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelations Netflix series Mattel Masterverse Savage He-Man and Orko 2-pack. Now, I'm a little upset they just called it Savage He-Man. They should have said Savage He-Man and Orko, not includes Orko. Orko is an amazing character. Why is he getting shadowed like that? That's kind of bullshit, but they do what it do. Now, I'm going to be flat and honest with you guys. I'm not going to use this as Savage He-Man. I don't really care about him being Savage He-Man. I think you know where I'm going with this. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that. But Orko was a must anyway. So, you know, whatever. From the start, I had mixed feelings about this. On the side here, you can say it just says Savage He-Man. Barcode, if you're looking at it, I found mine at Target. Check the Target app. It is on there. That's how I found mine. Artwork on the side here looks really cool. I love that big chunky design for him, which leads me to one of my problems with the figure itself. He doesn't look like this in the figure. The show showed him being a little bit hairier, bigger, bulkier, and this is just another reuse of the same body mold, which is kind of upsetting. On one hand, I'm okay with it for my idea that I want to use him for, but then on the other hand, it's like, you know, you could have went the extra mile and made a new body mold. Or at least use the Skeletor body mold. I don't know why they didn't do that. I think that would have worked pretty good. Change out some parts. Boom, there you go. I don't know why they didn't do that. I think it was to save money, which is understandable. Whatever. As long as this line continues, I'm fine with whatever they got going on. But I love the artwork on the back, like we were showing. Would have liked to see him like that on one hand, but then on the other hand, I'm kind of happy with the way that he came out for other reasons. There was the read up there if you wanted to check that out as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and open this bastards up. So taking these guys out of the packaging, I gotta say, I do enjoy both of them. I don't think that they're anything crazy. Like, it's not like, oh my god, you have to get this. This is the most revolutionary action figure ever, because it's not. You know, you're gonna get it, and for the most part, you're gonna expect what you're getting. Orko's cool because obviously he's a completely new sculpt, and I don't really think they're gonna be able to reuse Orko unless they do like spoilers, I guess, but unless they do like the end of the show where he has like that white cloak and the longer cloak, you could probably reuse some parts from that or for that, but you know, what are you going to do? So let's go ahead and take a look at Savage He-Man first, just because I feel like he's just mostly reuse. So you do get a new head, which it looks pretty good. I wish I could get this facial expression on like a short-haired He-Man, but I don't feel like buying two, and I don't think it's that big a deal, because it's just easy to swap the hair, but, you know, I do like this expression for He-Man. I might try to switch it out. I'm not really sure. I'm looking at my other He-Man, and I'm thinking about it, but, you know, the body's really standard for what we know. You get the pinless joints. It is washed beautifully, though. I do like the dirty look of the character. You do get a new loincloth, which I didn't know. I didn't really realize. It's just a string with some tattered, like, skin hide on the top. The legs are reuse up until you get to the lower calves. These are new, and then obviously you get new feet. So it's more new than you would probably initially think. I mean, there's not much to talk about with it, just in the sense of, you know, it's just a dude in a loincloth. But I think you get new hands too, by the way. You get like these big clenchy hands, which is pretty cool. But, you know, for the most part, it is just full-on reuse of prior figures that they've been using for this entire line. You know, that being said, I don't think that's a bad thing. Just, you know, something to keep in mind. As for Orko, obviously, this is a whole brand new sculpt. And I gotta say, I think the way that they did it is kind of ingenious. I mean, just a ball for the head. With the eyes painted on it. You know, you get the ears. He's got a lot of detail on his hat. You know, you get the yellow, the red, the tan, the brown, the light brown, and then you get like the little beads at the top. I like that a lot. That looks really good. It's painted pretty cleanly. You get like his little scarf thing. It is a separate piece, so if you wanted to take it off, you could. I mean, I don't really know why you would want to, but you get his arms. Now, unfortunately, his articulation is really limited. I don't know why they did that. I feel like they definitely could have put a hinge in his hand. I mean, that's all the articulation he needs. So I don't get why they would limit it like that. It's a little frustrating, but he is coated in a really nice texture all across the body, like his little cloak. Underneath is just hollow. Obviously, I don't really know what an imp has under him, but I really do like all the texture. The eyes are painted very cleanly, and I like the way that they look. And then he comes with this flight stand that kind of just looks like magic. It's like bent, and it holds him very well. The only thing I would say is I wish maybe you could get him to go higher. Like, put a hinge here and here instead of just bends so that he can go higher. Because he can only go lower, or like, this is as high as he can go, which isn't short by any means. I mean, it's short, but it's not like he's like only barely off the ground. But, you know, I think if they extended this all the way, you could get him like eye level with people, which I think would have been kind of cool. So I don't know, because he usually flies above people, like he usually floats above their shoulders. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but it's cool to get an Orko. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at their accessories, because there actually is a good amount of stuff that comes with this set. So it does come with a good amount of accessories. It comes with a power sword, which I think is really stupid. I feel like they're just throwing this in there just in an effort to put stuff in there without giving new accessories. The whole point of Savage He-Man is that he still has the power without the power sword. So why the hell would they put a power sword in there? So, I mean, it looks good for what it is, but, I mean, I have a million of those laying around at this point. You get a big spear, which I am a fan of. I'd be lying if I said I remember him using this, but, you know, it works for something else that I want to do. So you get, like, the rock with some wash on it. The wraps are painted very cleanly, and then it's just like it's a good firm plastic, though. I like when they do weapons like that. You get 2 grip hands for the weapons. We definitely should have got fist hands. I don't know why we didn't, but there are no fist hands in this, unfortunately. And then my favorite accessory is this big axe. Now, I do remember him using this for sure. And it's got like a silver dry brush on it. I don't know if it's picking that up, but it's got like a silver dry brush on it. And that looks awesome. That looks really, really cool. I like that a lot. And then you get like the handle. Obviously, unfortunately, there are no vertical hinge grip hands. I wish they did that too, but that doesn't bother me that much. What bothers me more is that we got a power sword and not fist hands. That's kind of stupid, but he does hold the weapons good, and I like that the axe it looks big. Just my biggest gripe with this entire figure in general is I just don't think the figure is big enough for what it's supposed to be. I'm not mad about it, because at the end portion of this video, stay tuned, I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to be using this He-Man for, but it's not really accurate at all. So, I don't know, your mileage of error on that. But let's go ahead and look over their articulation really quick. As for He-Man's articulation, the head is super limited as usual with these figures. He'll be able to look down, up a little bit, but it makes his neck look weird. So, like, he kind of has, like, that lunging forward look. You do get pivot, and it'll rotate side to side, but not too much. I don't know. I don't really like the way they did their heads at all. It's like the only real problem I have with it. Shoulders go up, down, around. Bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows that work very nice and look pretty good. I just wish they could straighten out a little bit more. It's a little gappy in there, but wrist swivel and hinge, which is nice. This diaphragm joint works pretty good, actually. You get good pivot side to side, a little bit of rotation, but don't go all the way. You will break it. Crunch up and down, and then you get a waist swivel. Hips will do full splits. Down, they'll kick forward, back, thigh cut, double jointed knees that are pinless as well. You get a calf rotation. That's just for interchangeable parts with like boots and shit. And then the ankle goes up and down and pivot. So, pretty standard. Kind of just ran through that, but that's just because it's the same, mold that they've been using since the start of the line at this point. And then for Orko, you get a great ball joint at the head. So you can rotate all the way around, no issues. You can look up pretty much all the way, so you can get him in those flying poses. You can look down all the way to get him like in those, like sorcery poses where you can only see the top of his eyes, which looks pretty cool. You get great pivot. This is awesome. I do like the way that they did the head. But then you just get hinges on the hands. So the arms will go down, up, they'll rotate around. You just got to work around the scarf thing, and that's pretty much it. You get a hinge ball joint at the top so it can swivel, hinge, and then hinge and swivel down at the bottom. So not bad. I just don't know why they didn't give them arm articulation, or at least a wrist swivel. I think if they did that, I would have been okay, but I just kind of feel like they dropped the ball a little bit on that, but not like to the point where I don't like it, just it could have been better. I just thought I'd go ahead and show something that I was doing. I was playing around. I meant to show it in the accessories segment, but I kind of forgot. But a few of these Marvel Legends effects, I think these ones came with Wonder Man, if I'm not mistaken. They will do wonders to this Orko, and I actually think I'm going to leave them with him permanently. You just kind of got to wedge them in his fingers or like poke his finger through the one like loop. But this looks awesome. And I think it works better for Orko than it does for Wonder Man. So I think I'm going to leave it like this. I also took a picture where I put his fingers in here. And like had him like blasting that. This is the Ghostbusters Plasma Series like stream blast. But that works too. And I honestly think this looks cool to get Orko like doing a whole bunch of like magic effects and things like that, because it didn't come with anything. So I don't know, just thought I'd throw that in there real quick because I think it is pretty cool. As for size comparisons, the only one that I'm really interested in making is just with He-Man. Plus, it's kind of the only one that I really have here other than Battle Cat. And you can see that he's a lot darker, the Savage He-Man. But, you know, for the most part, it's pretty much the same thing. I kind of do like the head sculpt on the Savage He-Man a little bit more. So I might try to switch them. I don't know. I don't really... on one hand I care, but then on the other one I don't. So, and then like I said, Orko, kind of wish he could stand a little bit higher, but, you know, what are you going to do? So we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on these guys and then go ahead and do the portion of what I wanted to do with Savage He-Man. But, you know, for these figures is what they are. You know, they're okay. I honestly think they dropped the ball on two things. One, they should use the Skeleton God body for him. Even if they charge like 40 and if they still want to make it a 2-pack and charge 40, you know, I think that's okay. I think Orko's worth 10, 15 bucks. I don't think he's worth 20 on his own unless they stacked him with accessories. But, you know, your mileage will vary on that. Maybe you agree or disagree, but I don't really think he'd be worth 20 bucks unless you added a shit ton of accessories to him. But I think Savage He-Man should have been $30 himself with, you know, interchanged parts on the Skeleton God body instead of this, you know, regular body. But again, I can't be too mad because the last portion of this video is going to be dedicated to what I'm going to be doing with him. So, with in mind of what it's supposed to be versus what we got, I'd probably give these guys like a 7. The arms suck on Orko. I hate that. I don't know if it's bothering people as much as it's bothering me, but I just don't see why they couldn't put a swivel in there or why they couldn't put a hinge. I don't know. Kind of bothers me. And Savage He-Man's okay. I mean, it's just a dude in a loincloth. He's just too small and not hairy enough. But, you know, that's not all I got for today. But that's my final thoughts on these figures here. So let's go ahead and show what I'm going to be doing with Savage He-Man. So you can see that I do have his grip hand here. And we're going to go ahead, as the title suggests. Let's not prolong this any longer. We're going to make this guy Kazar, the Savage Man from the Savage Lands. Now, Kazar is typically... Whoa, just dropped my flash. Review coming soon. I gave him a knife. It's got dry brush on it. Looks pretty cool. You know, nothing too crazy, but he's usually depicted with a knife. So I wanted to give him that. And boom, we have Kazar. Now, you're probably wondering, all right, cool, whatever. You just put a knife in his hand, you got Kazar. Whoop-de-do. But he's got a best friend. Don't worry, my friends. I have that too. I have Zabu. I went to a comic book store, and they had like these bins full of loose figures, and there was this saber-toothed tiger in there. Now, originally he was just this orange color, but I went ahead and painted him all up myself. You know, he had a little bit of color here and there, but I wanted to go and make the whole effect, like, in depth. I had this idea. The second I saw this, I said, okay, I'm going to get this for Zabu. And then like a week later, he was revealed and I was like, beautiful. We get Zabu and Kazar. So when I had painted his face, he's pretty in scale. I mean, Smilodon wasn't huge. I mean, that's a big cat, but you know, I'm sorry, saber-toothed tiger. I don't know if he's technically a Smilodon, but that's what they're scientifically called. Yep. I'm also a prehistoric nerd. I mean, it's what I go to school for. So, but you know, it is really cool to finally have these two on the shelf because I'm not sure if Marvel Legends will ever release a new set of them because the old ones, first of all, very, very expensive. And second of all, very, very ugly, at least in my opinion, especially the Zabu. I did not like the way that looked at all, so I never plan on getting that. And, you know, until the day where we get super articulated versions of these characters, these will do good on my shelf. Now, I know Zabu and Kazar from the Amazing Spider-Man show, I believe, on Disney XD. Yep, I'm giving, like, my age around here, because that's where That's like the era of Spider-Man that I grew up with, because Spider-Man put together a team of like all these younger heroes like Cloak and Dagger, Zabu, White Tiger, Luke Cage. They made Luke Cage younger. Same with Iron Fist, which I'm kind of okay with. It was a cool show, but I know them from that. So naturally, I brought down Spidey. And honestly, this works for me. Like, yeah, he's tall, but Kazar's supposed to be a bigger dude. And he's not like crazy tall. Spider-Man always looks up to Kazar. I mean, obviously, he whoops Kazar's ass, but, you know, this looks great for me. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I took a couple pictures, actually, of these two fighting together. Zabu here, they do in the Savage Lands. It's just, this is awesome to have, guys. You know, I've always wanted I like these, like, weird offshoot characters, and I don't know where Kazar is in the modern Marvel universe, but, you know, he'll always have a spot in my heart. So, you know, there you go. But with that being said, I believe that is all I have to say today for real this time. So if you have not already, do yourself the favor and me and like, comment, subscribe to this video. It is greatly appreciated when you do so. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I usually do custom videos on TikTok and things like that. I post a lot on TikTok, and I always post my images on Instagram, so please go ahead and do so. I'm almost at 500, guys. It is crazy that I've gotten the 500 in a little over 6 months. I mean, I think that's pretty good, and I'm very proud of myself, and I'm very thankful for every single one of you. So please go ahead and subscribe if you have not. But if I was to give these figures a rating, they're a 10 out of 10 for me. I like him better as Kazar than I do as Savage He-Man. Maybe one day they'll release an actual Savage He-Man, and I'll probably get that too, because I'm a sucker, and I would like a big, chunky He-Man. But, you know, it bees it like that. Let me know. As always, you coppin'? You want to try what I'm trying? I don't know what... I wish I could tell you more about this saber-toothed tiger figure, but unfortunately, that's all I know. So, let me know. You coppin'? I'll see you guys later. Peace.